So in this time-lapse video, I thought I'd talk a little bit about developing for ourselves a well-rounded artistic or well-rounded media diet. This is the finished piece that you'll see being painted as the video progresses. And at this early stage, it's a little more than just a rough idea of a warrior orc princess. You'll see as things progress just how many times I actually couldn't figure out what to do here. So the shape of the head will change, the temperature will shift, the costume changes as well. So you'll really see me fumble my way through all of this. But even if I don't have a firm idea of exactly what I want her to look like, I do have an idea as to how I want to execute this piece. And it will probably become obvious as things progress exactly what I'm trying to achieve with this artwork, because the topic of this commentary is all about developing for ourselves a good media diet. Media diet, well, what does that mean exactly and why is it important? Well, when many of us discover the urge to illustrate and paint, it's usually because we are introduced to a specific creative work that hits us emotionally. This is true not just for us painters and illustrators, but musicians, filmmakers, novelists, wood carvers. Every creative discipline has a multitude of styles and flavors that has the power to really activate the creative urge that lies within us all. We see here, read that artistic work, and for whatever reason, something switches on in our minds which makes us say, I really want to give that a shot. Now, what happens when this creative side gets activated is that we do the obvious thing, and that's copy some other person's work. We draw and paint the Marvel characters, we write that extra story in the Harry Potter universe, we learn the entire Beatles catalog. In most instances, we start our creative journey as fan artists first. This starts to be an issue, however, as we develop our skills mature. It is important that we grow as creators and don't get locked down into recreating stories and characters created by others. Fan art can be fun, but it's something that should be looked at as a stepping stone. The real goal should be to use that creative energy for ourselves. The next obvious step from here is usually to create a derivative of our favorite work. This is a much better step, but we face similar problems in that we are only referencing one source. It's all well and good to want to create the next Star Wars, but if that's our only frame of reference, then all we're ever going to produce is an imitation of Star Wars. Even if we expand our references to the wider style or genre, we still risk falling into some of the trappings within that style or genre. Staying in a niche area makes for a very weak media diet. In the same way we don't want to consume burgers and soft drinks every day, we don't want to just focus on one style or genre creatively. If we want to get the best out of our artistic expression, to lift our ideas to the highest possible level, then we really have to make an effort to look far beyond what naturally draws us in. The more we branch out, the more of a mental library we can pull from to create interesting ideas. But it's not just multiple styles where we can find interest. One of the biggest components of artistic expression that creates interest is contrast. The best contrast is where we're able to combine ideas that are really at opposite ends to each other. In this painting, for instance, you'll see I'm painting primarily with reds and greens, colors that are on opposite sides of the color spectrum. This is essentially what's called an oil and water approach, taking two or even multiple ideas and making them work together as a team. This is ultimately how we create something unique and, more importantly, something original. Now, for instance, if we've got three concepts like spaceships, samurais, and westerns, well, on the surface there's not a great deal of commonality here, but when we glue all of these pieces together in the right way, we get an epic sci-fi adventure that stands the test of time. But like many things, these contrasting ideas often take time to work out and develop in order to have them feel cohesive. We don't just want to stitch together these ideas, we want to aim to join them together in a way where the audience can't see the seams. Returning to the colors in this painting, because red and green have nothing in common, it's my job as the artist to work out a way to get this odd couple of colors to harmonize together. So we want to create not just something unique, but we also want to aim for strong execution. And we develop that sense of execution and quality by looking to both successful and unsuccessful creative works. The more we understand what does and doesn't work creatively means the more traps we can avoid. The other thing we need to do is look beyond just recent creative works for inspiration. Artistic expression has been around with us for thousands of years, and it's super important that we draw upon these resources also, because in many cases the ideas that rang true 1,000 years ago still ring true today. Our artistic predecessors really did a lot of the heavy lifting for us. They figured out many of the fundamental ideas and themes that allow us to create work that that is successful both structurally and emotionally. So learning from the old masters is vital. It's very easy for us to simply look at the newest media and analyze that work alone, but just because a piece of art is decades or even centuries old doesn't mean there's nothing to learn from it. A black and white movie from the 1930s is just as valuable as a modern day blockbuster. So expanding our media intake across genre, quality, and time is ultimately going to result in us becoming better creatives. Our mental library will increase in size, which means we'll have more ideas to experiment with. Now, it might seem obvious by now what style I was going for with this painting. I've taken this sort of modern contemporary World of Warcraft style orc design and combined it with the dynamic lighting of a Rembrandt painting. So an oil and water approach, something old combined with something new to create something unique. So if you are ready to step out of the shadows of just being a fan artist, ensure you are consuming a wide and healthy media diet. So this painting is just about done, and I think she's looking somewhere between looking quite regal and menacing, so I'll let you be the judge of that. Now, if you're looking to make the leap into your own creative world and you're looking for a few extra pointers along the way, then check out my range of art classes on Skillshare to stream or on Gumroad for outright purchase. They are very much designed with beginners in mind. So if you're having trouble with certain areas of art, the links to these classes will be in the description below.